I hated that sweater so much. Oh my, I just want to take it and I would say burn it, but no, what I do is unravel it and knit it into a nice sweater. That was, oh. Hey, I'm Cece. Welcome back to my channel and my cozy corner where I sit back and talk about the latest Hallmark Channel movie. We are into the Miracles of Christmas, not to be confused with the Countdown to Christmas, which is on the main channel. Miracles of Christmas is the Hallmark's movie and mystery Christmas movies. And so we have the first one of that series to talk about today. And as always, I have created a custom cocktail, the Christmas Martini. So if you're interested in making that, the link for the recipe will be below. But let's go ahead and get into today's movie, Christmas Tree Lane. Well, when I first was like Christmas Tree Lane, I could have sworn there was already a movie called Christmas Tree Lane. Like, haven't they? I feel like there's a Christmas Tree Lane in like every other movie. So maybe that's why. It's just I've heard it so many times, I didn't realize that it wasn't already its own movie. But quick synopsis, we've got Meg. She works at her family's music store on Christmas Tree Lane. A big investment in real estate company has gone and bought apparently all the stores on the lane, and they're going to be tearing them down to put up, I think they said, corporate creative spaces, which whatever that means. And Meg meets Nate. Nate is sort of helping her and all of the businesses along Christmas Tree Lane to save Christmas Tree Lane. They decide to throw a big concert. And then it turns out Nate actually works for the company that bought all the businesses and is planning to tear it all down. But they manage to work some holiday spirit magic and end up saving Christmas Tree Lane. And Meg and Nate fall in love and everything's great. So yes, as far as Hallmark Channel movies go, Christmas movies, this one basically checked all the boxes. There was no small town, but all the other boxes. It just nailed it. And it felt kind of like a small town because everything's happening on this literally one street for the entire movie. So when it opens, we first meet Meg at her music store, and then she goes out to get some coffee where she runs into Nate. So they have their little meet cute at like a mobile coffee cart thing, and he's ordering some ridiculous coffee drink with hot chocolate and whipped cream and sprinkles, and he's like, put extra sprinkles please, and she's getting black decaf.
May I have a decaf coffee black, please?
Yeah, we have a special Christmas hot chocolate today.
That's fine.
Is it?
Excuse me?
It's just you don't see a lot of people drinking black coffee nowadays.
Well, all that stuff just masks the flavor of the beans.
It's because they taste like sadness.
Ow.
Look at this, it's a Christmas.
All right, Nate, there's no need to diss the coffee drinkers. Most people drink coffee. Calling it a cup of sadness, just don't do that. Don't do that. But with that said, black decaf? I mean, I understand drinking it black, regular, but black decaf? Why? Why? That I do. It's like, you're drinking it because you like the taste? Then don't drink decaf. What? Nah, I didn't like any of their drinks. But they decide to have a little chat on a bench, and I'm watching this go down, and while they're talking, she takes off her hat. I'm like, you're outside in the wintertime, sitting on a bench. Why are you taking off your hat? Wait, what's going on? Why are you doing this?
I am. Yeah, originally. But I...
Do you hear that?
Fast forward a couple minutes.
I will. Merry Christmas.
Excuse me!
Oh, right. It's to further the plot. Now it makes sense. Well, it still doesn't make sense why she took her hat off in the first place, but now we know why the director had her take her hat off in the first place. It's so that they could come back to it in the end. So since they need to save all of their street, so Meg is the head of the Merchants Association, so she calls together everyone on the street because they decide they need to save Christmas Tree Lane, which doesn't really make any sense to me because honestly, all right, well, there's two reasons why this doesn't make any sense to me. One, like her family has been in this music business for over 100 years. So for like 120 years, they've been in the exact same building, but they have never bought it. They still rent it. Okay. And the same for like a lot of the other business owners. Like some of them have been in there for multiple generations of family members, and they also don't own their buildings. But second, the reason why they're tearing it down is so they can put up corporate creative space. And I'm looking at these little old cutesy brick buildings. I'm like, my gosh, these are millennials' dream. Like we have a lot of brick old mill buildings in my town that they've completely built up for creative spaces. And like people are buying them left and right because they all want these sort of hipster hangouts. I'm like, why would they destroy it all to build new? I'm like, they could just renovate these ones and the millennials would be lined up on the street to get in there. But whatever. It's a Hallmark movie. Put all those kind of things aside. So she's having this meeting. They're like, yeah, we're going to save Christmas Tree Lane. We're going to convince these people not to tear down our street because we're going to have a festival because that's going to work. But I love this one lady. She's like, Meg's like, all right, guys, we need some ideas. And this one lady's like, we could have a bake sale. Yes. Yes, Marge. A bake sale is going to make it all better. Bake sale. I don't know what they're thinking or why they think any of this is going to change the minds of these investors, but it has a lot of Christmas heart. So Nate comes to the music store to return Meg's hat.
Who's that?
Just this guy I met yesterday downtown at the coffee stand. What's he doing here?
Oh, here's an idea. Go ask him.
Right.
Meg's friend is like, oh, who is that? And I'm like, a customer? What? Why would she automatically assume that it's someone other than someone just there to buy a guitar maybe? That was so loaded. Like, honestly, yeah. I immediately see any man and I'm like elbowing my friend like, ooh, who's that? And they're like, I don't know. They just are a customer who walked in to buy something. Come on. And then Meg and Nate are talking and she's saying how her mother died, so now she's running the store with her father. And I'm like, ooh, no, flashbacks to Follow Me to Daisy Hills. Don't need any of that up in here. So one of the things that the Merchants Association decided to do is that each store was going to get a Christmas tree. Or each business, I should say, they're not all stores. Each business would get a Christmas tree that they would have to decorate in the theme of the business. And then the passerbys, the people who were coming to the street, could then vote on which one they thought was the best tree. So Meg takes Nate to help pick out the tree. And the tree they pick out doesn't quite match the tree they bring home.
Good coverage.
Hey, what about this one?
We need a tree that looks good from 360 degrees. The base is nice. Excellent.
We'll take
it. All right.
Hey.
This is perfect.
So that first one that they're looking at was like 12 feet tall. The tree they bring home, 7 feet tall. Not the same tree. Why couldn't they have used the same tree or something similar? Like, why? What was that? Clearly different trees. Like, ridiculously different. So I don't know what was going on there. And then later, when they're trying to figure out to decorate it, they're all standing around going, well, I don't know what our theme should be. Luckily, Nate was there.
Well, Nate, feel free to look around. We'll be decorating if there's anything you need.
Except we haven't yet figured out how to theme the tree to the store.
Do you guys happen to have any old 45s? Maybe some sheet music?
Boxes of both, yeah, why?
I have an idea.
I mean, they're a music store. Come on. I could have, just watching the clip, I had like a dozen ideas how I would decorate a tree in a music theme. Like, and they were all sitting there like, but what should our theme be? And Nate's like, well, I have a great idea. And I'm like, duh, of course you did. Anybody with half a brain could figure out how to decorate a tree in the theme of a music store. Not hard, not complicated at all. So they decorate it, and I mean, it's okay. As someone who decorates trees each year for the Festival of Trees and has seen some impeccably decorated trees and appreciates the art of decorating a tree, that tree, I mean, I've seen worse, but I've seen a lot better. And just off the top of my mind, I can think of several different better ways to have done that. But that's where we gotta go. But of course, guess who wins the tree decorating contest?
You're runner-up. Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Father. What's this?
Oh, we tallied up the votes from all the folks who came down to see the trees. You won. Merry Christmas.
I saw some of the other trees. They showed some clips of the other trees, and most of them were better looking. So why they won, don't know. Honestly, couldn't answer that one. But, all right, moving on. This isn't really related to the story, but I just needed a moment to express how much I hate this sweater.
Okay, are we ready?
Yes, let's do it. Welcome to Riley's.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Thank you for coming.
Enjoy the treat table and have some holiday cheer.
I mean, the whole cold shoulder trend. Never really liked it. I don't really get the point of it, but whatever. I'm not down for every fashion trend, but it's certainly not the worst. But on a sweater? I mean, the whole point is it's cold. It's wintertime. You're wearing a sweater because it's cold. And then to have the cutouts, it's like completely pointless. I hated that sweater so much. Oh my, I just want to take it and I would say burn it, but no, what I do is unravel it and knit into a nice sweater. That was, oh man, I just really hate that sweater. And then later on in the movie again, she's wearing an off-the-shoulder dress for the big Christmas concert. And the dress is beautiful. We'd already seen it in all the ads for the film. So I already knew it was going to be off the shoulder. And it's for the concert. Like, obviously, you're going to wear something nice for the concert. But the concert is outdoors. And then we see her sitting outside watching the first part of the concert without a coat or anything. Everyone else is wearing coats, scarves, hats, gloves, and she's just sitting there with with her completely open, exposed shoulders outside. And I'm like, I don't know if it's her or the costume designer for this show, but they're just obsessed with showing off her shoulders. Every opportunity. Heaven forbid we cover them. And it's not like I'm against any sort of exposed skin in the wintertime, because like there's a girl who's plays one of her vocal students, and she's wearing like a green dress that she performs in that I loved. I absolutely loved it.
Merry almost Christmas. Let's come on in and do a rehearsal. Ready?
How are you holding up?
See, like, it has a little bit of the open back, but with the bow, it's beautiful. And then I'm sure as soon as she sat down, she put a coat on, like a normal person.
When Christ was born.
At one point, they have an open house for the store. So they have all these people come in, and Nate wants to come, but he's stuck at work, so he doesn't get there till the open house is over. And so he's eating fruit cake, which apparently doesn't like, so she covers it in whipped cream, just like he does with his coffee. And I couldn't help but notice it was non-dairy whipped cream, which probably most people don't care about, but as someone who doesn't eat dairy, I was like, woo, representing that now we can get canned whipped cream, because that's been great ever since that past couple of years. I think we've been able to get non-dairy canned whipped cream, which has been fantastic. I really appreciate it. And then we also get a view of the performance space where she does her music lessons, and it is gorgeous.
No matter where we are or who
I want to set up my chair in that space and then have like a fireplace or something. Oh, I would be very happy. Very happy. It seemed beautiful and nice, and I just want to go there and live there, exist there. My soul should exist there. My sister's soul should exist there. She's more obsessed with Christmas than I could ever be, and I think that's probably what her happy place looks like. So if you've ever watched any of my videos before, you know I absolutely hate how about 20 minutes before the movie is supposed to end, they manufacture some ridiculous conflict in order to push the two leads apart in the last 20 minutes of the film so that they can come together. And we didn't actually have that in this movie. I mean, we did a little bit, but it was very small and was almost inconsequential. Because basically, we're about an hour in when Meg discovers that Nate actually works for the company that is tearing down the street. So obviously she's upset about that, but he didn't know. Like, he had just gotten into town. It's his family's business. He's just returned to town, and he hadn't gotten through all the projects that they were currently working on. She knew he had something he needed to tell her. So it's like, it had only been like 12 hours. So it's not like he'd been keeping this secret from her for days, weeks, months, forever. Well, they've only known each other a few days. But he'd clearly been trying to tell her something the night before. So she knew. And then he had texted her right before she found out that he worked for the company. So she's like a little upset about it and kind of storms off. But we still had an hour to go. And she gets over pretty quickly because he's like, hey, you've got a man on the inside now. Now I can work on making a new proposal to the board to try to save the street and all this kind of other stuff. So then they're like back working as a team. So that was great. But then Nate also runs into an ex-girlfriend whom Meg sees him talking to and then sees him get a call from a little later in the movie. And I knew she was a lawyer, so I was like, oh, I bet he's bringing her in on this in some capacity to help out as well. But Meg thinks he's, I don't know, seeing her again or something. But, you know, she just kind of met him, so even though she's sort of falling for him, she doesn't really let it affect her feelings for him. She doesn't, like, stop hanging out with him like they did with, what was that other one? Wedding Every Weekend, where she just like, bam, I can't even be friends with you anymore because you don't want to marry me. No, Meg's just like, okay, I guess he's gone back to seeing his ex-girlfriend. That's fine for him. But we can still be friends. He's helping me save Christmas Tree Lane. And then when his big proposal to the board doesn't go well and he still can't convince his father not to build, she gets all upset and is like, well, maybe we should just do this on our own. And I didn't see it so much as them, like, her breaking it off with him or anything. It was just kind of like, she's about to lose her family-owned business in the next 24 hours. I was like, she just needed some time to process this bad news. Yeah, and then, of course, later that afternoon, that's when the ex-girlfriend shows up, and I was like, hey, here's my card. I've been talking with Nate. He told me that since he couldn't convince the board right away to not tear it down, or his father, on the backup plan, I can help you sue, and I can represent all of you merchants on this street against this company, because I guess she's gone up against them before. And she's like, oh, okay, that's why he's been hanging out with you. But she's still upset. Like, now she's starting to think, well, okay, maybe there's other ways we could save this street. And then, of course, when Nate goes to the concert, by then she's feeling much better. She performs at the concert. And so at the end, when they managed to convince his father, like a Grinch, his heart grew 3 sizes that day at the concert. And so now he's all sappy and like, oh, I won't build after all. Then, of course, that's when they come back together. He tells her that his father won't tear it down, and the two of them kiss. And I liked this kiss. Normally I don't like when they wait until the last second to kiss because it just is annoying, like the build-up, when I feel like they should have kissed sooner. This one I felt it worked, it fit, and then he like kind of dips her.
Merry Christmas, Nate.
I actually squealed out loud. I was like, oh, did he just dip her? Ooh. So that was a smooth kiss. That was a sweet kiss. I liked it. But honestly, Alicia Witt and Andrew Walker are veteran Hallmark Channel movie actors. So in fact, we just saw Andrew Walker a week ago. Well, not a week ago, because by the time I'm like way behind on these and filming these and watching these. So, but the truth is he was in Sweet Autumn. I did not like his character in that one. But then that aired in mid-October, and then literally the very next week, this one aired. I was like, oh my gosh, how many movies is he going to have in 2020? And that was it. These are the two. So his two Hallmark movies aired literally 1 week apart, and he's done for the year. So that's really funny how that worked out. I don't know if they looked into that or planned for that to happen. So now it comes down to the ranking. This is the second movie I've watched for Christmas. So it's the first of the Miracles of Christmas, but it's the second overall. And where do I think it falls compared to Jingle Bell Bride? And I'm going to rank it better than Jingle Bell Bride. So it moves into first place. All right, so I accidentally ran out of storage, so I had to refresh everything, and now I'm pretty sure my angle's wrong. I was talking about why I ranked Christmas Tree Lane above Jingle Bell Bride. I thought each movie was comparable in terms of like acting and story, so really it's not like one was better in terms of production or quality than the other. So I'm basically basing it on Jingle Bell Bride, you know, what do you get at the end? Well, obviously love, that's the happy ending for all of them, but Jingle Bell Bride, they got the flowers for some famous musician for her wedding. Whereas Christmas Tree Lane, they saved the lane, they reminded Nate's father what it was to be excited about Christmas and warmed his heart, and they brought the whole community together and reminded them about how Christmas used to be. So basically that's why I'm ranking it better, because it just had a more overarching Christmas message that I liked better than the Jingle Bell Bride, which is every bride should get the flowers she wants regardless of who it has to put out. So this is the wrap on the second Christmas movie of the year. We only have 38 left to go. We have, don't even know what today's date is, the 16th of November. So we have about 40 days. So we have like 40 days left to cover all the rest of the movies. So we'll see how it goes. But keep enjoying those Hallmark Christmas movies, and I will see you shortly. All right, I'm just gonna hold my camera because it is not lining up right. All right, ever changing angles because this seems